Welcome to We Need to Talk Now, presented by AT&T. I'm Alicia J, here with Ashley Nicole Moss, as
Hi.
always. But today we have a very special guest. I, for one, am really excited being from Oregon myself. We're going to get into this, but she's going into her 5th season of college. She is going to, or she is, I shouldn't say going to be, but she is a Oregon Duck. And Miss Deja Kelly, we are so excited to have you here today.
Hi guys, thanks for having me. Excited to be here.
Hi. Listen, Alicia, I don't know if you know this, but Deja and I go back. I consider her a little sister of mine. Last New York Fashion Week, we actually did a lot of things together. We're both Tommy Hilfiger girls, but I really, really just have loved seeing her just flourish and grow. And not to talk about you like you're not sitting here, but just even in the year that I've known her, she's just flourished and has her hand in so many different things. And I remember we actually had a conversation about this last Fashion Week at this restaurant in New York, and it was her mom, my mom, and a bunch of other people from our collective team. So I just first and foremost want to say how proud I am of you for really just diving headfirst and doing so many different things and having your hands in so many different pots. I wish that the industry was more what's the word, accepting of that when I was your age. It took us a while to get here, but I absolutely love seeing, the next generation have it a little bit easier. So, what has been your favorite part of everything since I've last seen you?
I think honestly just a little bit of everything. I think just the whole process has been a lot of fun, a lot of growing, a lot of learning along the way. Like you said, just kind of dipping my hand in a bunch of different pots too, and just trying to be as versatile as I can, as kind of multifaceted as I can. That's really my goal. To build my brand outside of basketball as well. So really just been focusing on that since you last seen me. And really just trying to, focus on, like I said, continuing to build those different and take different avenues of my life and trying to grow that while I'm still in school, because there's still so many opportunities that I can take advantage of. So again, to be able to kind of take advantage of all of those while and just now turning 23. So that's been a lot of fun just within the past year.
Well, I know one of the avenues that you've taken is you are now an Oregon Duck. You're in Eugene. Tell me, what is your favorite part about Eugene and the experience you've had at Oregon so far?
I would just say the staff, the team. That's really all I've seen so far since we haven't started school yet, which is so different for me. But yeah, I think just getting to know them, getting to know the system, getting to know kind of the area too. I knew it was going to be kind of an adjustment. It's something new. It's a whole new place, whole new team, whole new environment. So there's a little bit of nerves there, but everyone has been so welcoming. And obviously I'm older, so I've done this before. So it's not like, any freshman nerves or anything like that. But I really love just the group that I'm with. I think everyone, we're on the same page. We have already talked about, kind of goals we have for this year. And obviously it's my last go around, so I'm really emphasizing kind of, trying to lead and trying to make sure that we're on the right track to eventually kind of accomplish those goals that we've kind of talked about already.
Well, and I
What
know that
kind
you
of
said
Oh, go
that.
ahead. Yeah.
Well, and just a follow-up to that, one thing that I read is that you wanted to make sure that you were going to go on a team that would get you the most pro ready. Why is Oregon that team for you?
Yes. Knowing Coach Kelly and seeing kind of what he's done over the past few years with Oregon and with his teams, and specifically with his guards, his lead guards, seeing how well he has gotten them for the pros. You've seen Sabrina's, you've seen, Cordy Vandersus when he had her at Gonzaga, you've seen a lot of players that he has playing overseas. Most of his guards are pros and doing really well. So kind of just seeing that and trying to follow in their footsteps, and seeing that he is known for developing and getting his guards ready for the next level and putting him in the position within his offense throughout the season, in practice, kind of how he helps them lead and guides them to be great leaders as well. Just kind of seeing all of those attributes, I definitely knew that those would help me and eventually in the long run. And again, trying to continue to build my draft stock and potentially be in the league. So just trying to learn from him and gain as much knowledge from him as well. And just, again, being in a system to where he is going to put me in a really good position to thrive and continue to grow in the areas that I need to for the next level. That was kind of a no-brainer for me because I've seen that since high school, just watching Oregon as well. So I think just, again, being able to be a part of that and being able to be under a coach like him, I'm really excited for.
Obviously, you know, I'm a UNC fan. I have your jersey in my closet where, you know, UNC is kind of like where we first really started to hear your name frequently. And I just feel like it's really just was a trampoline for everything that you've been able to do since. So knowing what you did really, really well when you were a Tar Heel, what do you want to continue to capitalize on? And what do you completely just want to change now that you're at Oregon?
I want to continue to capitalize really off the brand that I built, you know, while I was at UNC. You know, just kind of in itself. Obviously, NIL started when I was at UNC. So that was kind of a whole brand builder in itself. And, you know, I was the UNC brand, that's what I was tied to. So now I'm kind of focusing on rebranding myself as well. And, you know, just kind of that whole area, just because I am in a new place, it's a new audience, new fans. So just, again, trying to rebrand myself in a different way to continue to just grow in different aspects, you know, with like I said, my own brand, just continue to build my fan base there too. Obviously I had 4 years to do that at UNC, so I have kind of 1 year to do that now within the Oregon space, but you know, it's been great. I think I've, you know, talked to some fans already, just trying to, you know, make sure that they're ready for the season. And, but yeah, that's pretty much the biggest focus for me, especially because going from somewhere where you were at for 4 years, you know, your name's kind of tied to that too. So again, like I said, just kind of trying to rebrand myself in the best way that I can.
I mean, let's real quick. I mean, let's talk about the NIL real quick, and you know, all the different things that you have going on. I remember when I interviewed Angela Reese right after she won the championship. She was talking about all the things she wanted to get into, and like clockwork, I feel like within 6 months, her hand was in every single pot she had talked about, and now the sky's the limit. But I mean, for someone who is still in school and hasn't started her professional career yet, I mean, we already mentioned Tommy Hilfiger, which is where I met you and got familiar with you. I know that you have your hands in some business things as well, expanding your portfolio. I believe I saw you are an investor in Bazooka Gum, which brings back so much nostalgia. It was a gum that my mom would not let me chew because it wasn't sugar-free. But I used to sneak it, and I just remember the cartoons and the jokes on the wrappers. But yeah, my mom was like very much, Alicia, shout out to my mom, but she was very much anti. If it had sugar in it, I couldn't eat it. So like I was chewing sugar-free Trident gum and stuff. It just wasn't the same. But I would sneak Bazooka because it blew the best bubbles. I mean, what goes into your thought process? Obviously the fashion and things, it's just whatever speaks to you, whatever, you know, aligns with what you would actually wear and things like that. But when it comes to investing in businesses and brands and actually putting your dollars into something, what do you look for when you make that investment?
I think just brands that kind of align with what I'm looking for, with kind of what I have grown my brand to be as well. And just kind of seeing how much I can help and literally invest in that brand and help them as well. And it's kind of a two-way street. Like, you know, how much they can help grow my brand as much as I can help theirs as well. So I think just having those conversations and having those discussions and really taking action, I think is huge. And it's huge steps, again, to take while you're still in school, because you're learning how to build on the investment side. You're learning how to invest where your money's growing, where it's working for you. So I think just being able to learn kind of all those different avenues just within the past couple of years, and especially this past year for me, because Bazooka is a recent investment for me, just being able to learn kind of about the business and learn about the business. And I met with the CEOs, the owner, all of that in New York at the beginning of Fashion Week. So just being able to meet them in person and kind of talk about next steps and where they're planning to continue to grow the brand and how they're continuing to, you know, to grow their outreach. And me being a part of those conversations, I think is huge. And it definitely expands my knowledge as well as kind of my versatility too, because being able to be a businesswoman, being able to sit in those rooms and have those conversations and being part of those discussions, I think, like I said, just really, I think takes you to the next to that next level as a businesswoman. So I'm really excited to be an investor for them, and I'm looking to continue to grow that kind of avenue for myself.
Man, you've definitely just taken NIL and done everything that you can with it. And when I think about this rookie class that we've had in the W this season and the impact that they've had, it has just been phenomenal. I would argue that it is the top rookie class going into as a collective going into the
For sure.
WNBA. How do you think that NIL has impacted how rookie classes in the W will impact the league now and moving forward?
I think just with being able to begin to grow yourself and as well just grow your knowledge within NIL, within college basketball while you're in college. You've seen college basketball grow so much just within the past, really, like it feels like 2 years, but just over the course of time, and seeing that grow throughout NIL, you see how beneficial NIL is, because it expands your outreach through social media, expands your outreach through the media coverage that now the sport is getting, now specifically women's athletes are getting, specifically the rookie class that they were getting in their last seasons of college leading up to the W, leading up to the draft. So I think that definitely helped that rookie brand grow and expand and continue to grow while they're now in the league. And I think it's also a huge stepping stone for those who are up next as well, because now you're having eyes on, okay, who's up next from college? Who's up next coming into the draft? Who's up next who are freshmen and sophomores who are going to continue to thrive within the collegiate space, and who are going to be, the up and coming eventually in the league. So I think just being able to see how much this recent rookie class has really boosted, I think, kind of the coverage, the fan base, the audience that women's basketball has gotten. You can really do nothing but kind of be really excited for what's to come, because they have done a really great job of really, one, not only supporting each other, but also really trying to emphasize for everyone to watch for what's next.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, when we talk about going back to the NIL conversation, and specifically, Tommy Hilfiger, you getting very heavily involved in fashion while you're still in college is only going to be beneficial once you enter the league. Obviously, we've seen just a outburst in women's fashion when it comes to the WNBA specifically. I think that we've seen that in the tennis world. I think that we've seen that in other sports, but I think it's taken, the masses a while to kind of associate fashion with women's basketball. I think that fans of the sport have always known that there are women within the sport who have their own individual style and their own individual flair. But now, because of this last rookie class, it's on a different platform, different eyes. I mean, we saw Caitlin Clark in Prada at the draft. We saw Angel Reese at the Met Gala. I mean, it is just a completely different space. What are you looking to do once you do decide to declare, when that moment comes? How are you looking to take that love and that, footprint you already have in the fashion space and kind of take that with you when you do enter the W?
Yes, I think that's something that I've really been trying to dive deep into over the, kind of the course of my collegiate career. But especially recently, being a part of New York Fashion Week, really, again, having those conversations just kind of with people within the fashion world, and trying to, trying to figure out how I can get my foot in the door in different areas within that. Being the first NIL ambassador for Tommy Hilfiger, I think that was a huge step for me, to show my versatility within the fashion world and how much that is a part of the Deja Kelly brand that I really want to continue to grow, and, like I said, continue to build with hopefully other partners as well, throughout different areas. But and I think just throughout, you see the tunnel fits. I think that's something that's huge. So being able to do that in college too, I think just having fun with it. But I love how much fashion and sports has really collided and continued to rise, because you see a lot of creativity, a lot of personality through it. So I think us female athletes specifically, being able to show that side of us and show that we are more than just basketball players that you watch on your TV. I think that's also what the rookie class has done a really good job of, is being able to show that side of them through their tunnel fits, through different fashion things that they're doing, different brands that they're wearing, that they're sponsoring, because it shows how versatile we are and can be and will continue to be. Just in that sense, there's obviously a bunch of different avenues that these women are taking and that us women are taking. But I think just within the fashion world, just being able to finally see that collide, and beauty brands as well, hair products, skincare, just kind of seeing all of those kind of collide finally, I think really speaks to how powerful women are and how versatile we are as well.
Absolutely. And you want to talk about versatility. You had so many looks at New York Fashion Week. I was looking at all of them. I was like, I really can't pick a favorite, but I wanted to know if you had a favorite. And then in addition, if there are any looks at any time that you wish could just be like taken down from the gram, like not necessarily at New York Fashion Week, but just
Oh,
in
girl,
general.
I have a few.
I
Oh,
know I do.
I know I definitely have some looks that I could take down. Looking back at it, I need to go do a little clean out of my page probably soon. But I think my favorite look from this past fashion week, Sergio Hudson was definitely a fave for me just because the hair was different. It was kind of giving like elegant, but like, I don't know. But also the Kim Shui look I had with the coat, with kind of the stockings, the red gloves, the red lip. I think that was a really fun look too, because we kind of just put that together last minute and we were hoping that it was going to come together, and it did, but it was giving very classy. But it was different. I love the gloves piece. I am learning how much, different accessories really make an outfit. So I think that's kind of what we're focusing on throughout the whole weekend. But I would say those were a couple of my favorite looks. Really, all of them were a lot of fun, and really were really fitting for each event. But I think those were my top two for sure.
I think, whenever we talk about all the different things that you're involved in and athletes across the board, I think that social media has been a fantastic platform to showcase what you're doing and where you're going and, what you're involved in, what you're passionate about. And, also a great networking tool a lot of the times. I know that my agent found me on Instagram and reached out to me. I first thought it was a scam, so it took me a year to answer, but that's a different story for a different time. But I think that with the good also comes the bad. And I think that social media at times often can be an extremely toxic and just overwhelming space for a multitude of reasons. And I think that we've seen that influx happen specifically during this WNBA season from the start, I feel like, of the season, actually going back to even the draft. I mean, obviously with Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese being the two biggest, most polarizing names, and all the conversations that have kind of come from that, good, bad, in the middle. How do you go about protecting your mental, your spirit, everything that can kind of be affected by social media? Because I remember when I was 23, I was not good at it at all. Like, if there was somebody to clap back at, I was going to clap back at them. Like, I had no filter. Thank God for Tweet Deleter, because the things I used to say at 23 were just insane. Because naturally, you want to defend yourself when someone comes at you and comes into your space. And, when you're in a different position than the others, you have a lot more to lose, but it doesn't mean it doesn't hurt the same way. It doesn't affect you the same way. The toughest person in the world can still get affected by the things that are said to them. So how do you protect your mental in just the chaos that is social media?
Yeah, it's something that I definitely had to learn how to navigate, kind of as you're going through it, right? So I think, especially in this new age of where NIL is a big piece and social media is primarily the foundation of kind of how NIL works. Brands find you through social media, they
Right.
look at your audience, they look at the type of, engagement, all of these things that you have to keep. It's almost like you have to keep up with social media. It's hard. A lot of people always say, oh, just don't look at it. It's really not that easy because you see it literally everywhere. If social media it's a job now, it's a part of your job, it's a part of your livelihood. So it's, you can't just not look at it. But I think just being able to learn how to navigate and know that these people don't know your real life, don't know really what's going on, even though that's still tough because there are some expectations that, some fans that follow you, or any people that follow you, even your family, stuff like that, like throughout social media that you feel like you have to live up to. And if you're maybe not at the time, or you're just a step behind, that's when all of the crap really starts to flow throughout your social media. And again, that's where you really just have to, or where I've just really had to focus on managing and really telling myself and emphasizing that these people don't know my journey. These people don't know exactly what my story is, or exactly what really God has planned for me. I don't even fully know. So I just have to keep, living my life, continuing to be who I am, and really just being authentically myself. And I feel like everything else will take care of the rest. And the people who are really supporting me, for me, will still be there. Everyone else who's not, bye. So I think just learning how to manage that and kind of navigate that really as I'm going, it's definitely a challenge. It has become really challenging at times, where it's taken a toll on my mental. But just again, trying to filter out as best I can, and just continuing to put one foot forward, and just continuing to go on about my business. I think that's the biggest thing that I can say that I've kind of learned to do. But I'm sure it gets hard for the best of the best. I saw the Asia Wilson video yesterday, where she's like, sometimes it's hard being Asia Wilson. I can't imagine being the best player in the world, the type of stuff that she gets throughout social media, and having to manage that. So it's definitely challenging, but just learning how to navigate as I go.
I think, Alicia, we've had conversations we had Ali Love on last week, and we've had conversations about this. I think that I read an interview with Nicki Minaj in Vanity Fair years and years ago, and she said something, is not a direct quote, but she basically said humans are not supposed to know what people think of them 24/7. And I think that when you're in a certain position, when you're a public facing figure, regardless of what that may look like or what industry that may be in, you're constantly aware of what people think of you. You're constantly aware if they think you're too skinny or too big, or if they think you're attractive, or if they think you're smart, if you think you're this. And it's just an unnatural way to be. And it does take a toll on your mental. Alicia and I have had many conversations on this show. I know I had struggled severely with anxiety and depression, especially early in my career, because it's just an influx and just a wave of comments and critiques and things like that. Alicia, you yourself, have spoken about it as well.
Yeah, I've definitely spoken about it. I actually I have depression. And so I have to feel that in a lot of different ways. But working in social is hard, because you do see a lot of comments. You see how people feel about just women's sports in general, right? You're just consuming that because it is part of your job. So I definitely can relate on having to balance that. It's definitely something that I have to do every day. And I don't have nearly what you have on your shoulders. And that was going to lead me to my next question with you is, you're building a brand. You have a brand that you have to manage. You are playing basketball. You are doing everything that you can to be pro ready. Also to have your team, working with your team to be ready. Social media. The list goes on and on. How do you navigate that? We've had a lot of conversations about balance on here, and if it's a thing, if it's a real thing. But how do you? Yeah, I don't necessarily think it is either. But I would love to know what you think about navigating all that, and then also, is there a thing called balance in your world?
Yeah, that's a question I get asked a lot, and my answer usually is always me focusing on keeping the main thing, keeping the priorities what they are. Basketball is my main thing. Well, really taking care of myself, taking care of who I am mentally, physically, all of those things, because without that, if that's not functioning right, everything else is at the bottom. So, but really, like I said, just keeping the main thing, really keeping those my focus, my priorities, and trying to balance that the best I can. I would be lying if I was like, oh, I can balance everything great and everything is fine. No, it's a challenge. I have a great team around me that helps definitely manage a good load of that as well, which I think is great, and so appreciative, because being a college athlete with the brand to kind of upkeep and focusing on basketball, now getting her master's, like having all of these different responsibilities, it gets tough. But trying to focus on keeping everything in line and just really focusing on giving certain things my attention when needed. And really sometimes I hand stuff off to my team where I'm like, listen, y'all, this is not something that I need to be focusing on right now. Can y'all handle? And they're great about really helping me with that, which I love. So just being able to manage that in that way, I think has helped me a lot throughout school. And again, just upkeeping the brand with the social media and stuff, that's stuff that I have to deal with, not really anybody else. So I think that's a whole monster in itself and a huge challenge in itself, because that's not really something I can just hand off to someone and be like, here, can you deal with this? So that's why I think that that's probably one of the most challenging things mentally, from a mental standpoint, because I think that's one of the biggest challenges of them all, because as you're kind of going through every single avenue of your life and every single aspect of trying to uphold your business side, uphold your basketball, uphold your school, uphold your brand as a whole, I think just there's a lot that comes with it too, and trying to figure that out, because I'm still figuring life out as I go too. I don't have all the right answers. I don't know if I'm doing everything right. I just know that I'm doing it true to myself. So trying to, stay true to myself through it all, I think is definitely a challenge, but it's something that I've learned to embrace and really just embrace that journey.
I mean, from one team to another, we have to take it back to New York Fashion Week for a minute, because you attended the Unrivaled Basketball party, which saw a lot of cool people coming in and out of. I mean, first and foremost, how was that? And second, this is yet another league, another alternative for women athletes, specifically in the off season, or for athletes who, we talk about it all the time, how hard it is to make a WNBA roster. This is yet another avenue for, women basketball players to hone their skills, to go ahead and be seen on a larger platform, to hopefully maybe one day make a roster in the WNBA, but they don't have to put a pause on their dream to do that. How special is that?
I think it's super special. And again, to be able to go to that event and kind of have some conversations with the people, with some owners of it, and just seeing how big it is already and how much it's going to continue to grow, I think is great. But being able to have another stage like that, there's so many really good players in the world who aren't on a roster spot. And it's so tough to see, because there's just not that many spaces. But to have another avenue like Unrivaled, like Athletes Unlimited as well, being able to have those different opportunities, I think is amazing. And being able to also, I think you get like part ownership if you're in the league, like being able to grow on that side as well, I think is really something that's amazing that they're doing. And I think that'll be around for a little while, because it's continuing to grow the game, continuing to grow the opportunities, continuing to grow the audience, and just continuing to help the players, like I said, that maybe aren't always in a roster spot, or who are kind of in the middle of unknown. And it just gives a whole new opportunity, a whole new wave of ability to be able to kind of showcase their really performance. There's, like I said, there's so many good players. So just having that opportunity for another league, for another platform, I think is really great.
Yeah, definitely something I can't wait to watch. Like when it starts, it's good. It's already, I love their social media, by the way, too. The way that they leave these little nuggets of like who's coming up next. Like, I love that. And the ownership piece is really, really important too. Giving players not only like a place to play, but also like ownership in where they're playing is huge. And I hope that a lot of other leagues follow suit with that, because it's super important. Well, I know we both personally, like Ashley said at the beginning of this, are super proud of you. We're so excited about your season. We're so excited to see where everything is going for you and your brand. And before we get out of here, we just have one more thing that we like to do, which is a little rapid fire. So quick questions, quick answers, very quick and painless. So Beach, lake, or mountains?
Ooh. Beach.
It's a good one. Favorite female athlete?
Skylar Diggins.
Oh, me too.
Come on.
Skylar Diggins. Let me say her with her full last name.
Can I say the ultimate, the OG when it came to this fashion game? And oh my gosh, Skylar, you are forever the GOAT in my mind.
True businesswoman, competitor. Love her.
Love her. Yeah.
Could not agree more. Favorite male athlete?
Steph Curry.
Ooh, love me some Steph too.
I know, me too. I actually,
obviously, of course you do.
I mean, I worked for the Warriors for 13 seasons, and I got to see just his like whole start of his career, and it was just fantastic. So, come on, Steph, for sure. Favorite sport? I mean, I think we know, but
I guess it's basketball.
what about outside of basketball? What sport do you like to watch?
I really have gotten into watching volleyball, which is weird for me. I know it's different, but also tennis now. My brother plays tennis. I went to the US Open last weekend. I went to the tennis matches in Paris at the Olympics. So I've really kind of gotten into that too, and kind of seen that different side. So I'm actually, tennis is on the up and coming for me, for one of my favorite sports to watch.
Yeah, tennis is a great one, and definitely one that I would say, even though the women's side of the sport has been popular, I like how it's growing in popularity even more, not just stagnant. So definitely agree with you on that. So we all know that Skylar Diggins can slay. She's the original OG in the tunnels, but also, in addition to her, best WNBA fashion girly.
People ask everyone. I feel like I've seen so many different outfits. Oh, I'm terrible at this question. I really like how Rickea dresses. It's a different style than like mine, but I really love that she puts together. Deja Carrington, I love how she dresses. Rickea, Cameron Brink. Really,
I knew she was gonna say Rickea. I was gonna say
Rickea. I'm like, who am I? Rickea.
Yeah, that I was like those two. I'm surprised. And then she says it. Yeah. I love me some Cameron Brink. I'll tell you that.
I love them. They're so sweet. But yeah, the whole rookie class has really been throwing fits together all season. So got to give it to them.
Yeah, like no other. I totally agree. What's something that you have to have on you at all times?
I guess my phone, because it blows up all this. That's real. But I guess the typical essentials: my phone, some lip gloss. That's really it. My purse, anything that's in my purse.
Listen, I mean, it is what it is. That's what we all need, right? So I'm with you on that. Go-to pump-up song.
Oh, something by Drake. Seeing Green. I listen to that before every game with Drake, Nicki, Wayne. Those are my favorite 3 rappers. So, I play that song before every game.
And then the last one would be 3 things that you would take with you on a deserted island.
Yes, I'd hope my phone. I'd hope some.
Where you gonna plug it in, girl?
Definitely some water. And again, I'd say some lip gloss because it's gonna be hot and dry, so I need to make sure it's dry. Yeah, that's about it. I don't know. Hopefully, I don't end up in that situation because that'd be done.
No.
I don't know what I would do.
It's not a good scenario, but just in case, just prepare yourself just in case.
Yeah.
Listen, like we started off by saying, we're so proud of you, everything you've accomplished. I can't wait to continue to see you grow and develop and just expand not only your interests, but your brand as a whole. You always know I am a phone call away if you need anything. But I can't wait to just see you continue to just do it all and not to be put into a box. I think that's the most important thing, to just never allow anyone to just put you in a box. When we spoke to Ali Love last week, and we always preach this, I know it's been something I've preached my entire career, is I think that women can be so many different things. And I just love seeing more and more women, as the years progress, really take that ideology and really just run with it. And I think that you're definitely one of the women doing that. So congratulations to you. And I cannot wait to see what the future holds.
Thank you so much. This is really fun. Thanks a lot for having me.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And then we'll definitely be following everything in Eugene and the Ducks. Go Ducks. My dad was a huge Ducks fan, so I'm going to say it for him. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, yeah, great. Yeah, please follow along. Maybe I can come to a game, so let me know.
Will do.